Hello, everybody. Architecture can be very subjective, and what one person might find very appealing, another could see as an unusual house. However, some of the world's strangest houses were definitely created with the knowledge that they would be regarded as unusual homes. The world's weirdest homes were often constructed to instill a sense of awe, surprise, shock, or amusement in those that view them. Despite their strange appearances and unconventional shapes, many of these odd houses still manage to function practically as residences. In this video, we show you the 10 strangest houses in the world. But first, we ask you to subscribe to the channel in order to receive everything new. This Victorian home is notorious for its enormity, architectural oddities, and absence of a master construction plan. Sarah Winchester started construction on her house after her husband died in 1881. Carpenters were employed and labored on the home day and night until it grew into a 7-story behemoth. Winchester did not hire any architects and expanded the house in a random manner, resulting in numerous abnormalities, such as doors or staircases that lead nowhere. Several reports after her death linked these peculiarities to her belief in ghosts. Much of the folklore surrounding the Winchester House and its owner is whimsical, unverifiable, and typically demonstrably untrue. If the progress did not match her standards, Winchester was known to reconstruct or abandon construction, resulting in a maze-like layout. Another weird feature of the house is the walled-off doors and windows that were not removed as the mansion increased in size due to her never-ending extensions. We all had that one friend in college that would collect a wall of beer cans in the bedrooms instead of throwing them away. Now imagine being John Milkovich, no, not the actor, who took it to a whole other level and decided to decorate his entire house in Houston, Texas, with beer cans and bottles. While one can imagine that the more conservative people in the neighborhood must have not been too pleased with this unusual home, it has subsequently become one of the city's most recognizable icons of folk art. Starting in the late 1960s, he inlaid redwood and concrete blocks with thousands of rocks, marbles, and pieces of brass and metal, and created flower boxes, fences, patios, and many other items with the blocks. Even the yard would eventually just become a bedazzled cement surface because he apparently grew tired of mowing the lawn. The Orange Show Center for Visionary Art currently owns and operates the house as a non-profit organization that preserves unique works of art. Many fairy tales and children's books feature little mushroom houses inhabited by tiny fairy folk. Not many people get to experience this in real life, though, except perhaps the people who live in this famous mushroom house, a rather unusual house in Parenton, New York. Due to its odd shape, it is definitely regarded as one of the world's most unique houses. But there is a plot twist. It isn't meant to resemble a mushroom. Each mushroom pod rests atop a stem that rises from the ground, and each of the 4 pods that comprise the structure serves a different function. 2 of the pods are bedrooms, 1 is a kitchen, and another is a dining and living area. Each pod has a mushroom cap-shaped roof and is enclosed with windowed walls all around the pod. There is a 5th uncovered pod, which serves as an open deck. Antti Lovag, a Hungarian architect, designed Bubble Palace, a huge home in Cannes, France. It was designed for French businessman Pierre Bernard and later purchased as a vacation home by Pierre Cardin, the fashion designer. The architect despised straight lines and saw them as an assault on nature, so he designed the home as a playful and cheerful space that promoted spontaneous and natural flow. Although Pierre Bernard never actually lived at the palace, he thought of it as his own personal paradise. After he passed away in 1991, Pierre Cardin bought it to use as his holiday home. It went on sale in 2017 but did not manage to attract a buyer. When Cardin passed away in 2020, there were suggestions that it be converted into an art expo venue, The bubble house comprises 10 bedrooms, multiple pools, a lounge with panoramic views, and even an open-air theater that can seat 500 people. The cube house's tale is rather fascinating. During World War II, the city was completely destroyed, leaving no significant remnants. Following the war, there was a considerable need to reconstruct the city architecturally, with the objective being to make it distinct. As a result, there were attempts to counter the preceding utilitarian design, leading to the construction of the cube houses, one of the greatest examples of the city's early icons of modernism. Therefore, yellow was chosen for the facade because of the psychological influence it produces, optimism and vibrancy. The architectural mix of the eye-catching yellow facade, the distinct design, and the spatial dimensions of the public space uniting the market space and the old region are very effective in attracting people's attention. The inside of each QB is split into 3 levels connected by a thin wooden stairway. The next building on our list of weirdest houses in the world looks like something straight out of a fairy tale. Heliodome is a commercial structure in Sopot, Poland, distinguished by its distinctive architectural style. The building's form provides the visual appearance of warping. Heliodome opened to the public in 2004, and it has since garnered several honors and distinctions, including being named one of the Tri-City area's 7 wonders. The strange building's distinctive design gives the illusion of sagging, melting, and warping. With sandstone-framed windows and a multicolored stained glass entryway, it complements some of the aesthetic features of its neighboring buildings. The green-blue enamel tiles on the building's roof look like dragon scales, evoking Antoni Gaudi's Casa Batlló in Barcelona. Heliodome interior comprises coffee shops, offices, nightclubs, and a wall on which Polish celebrities write their names after visiting the famous structure. KiDoc, former mayor of Suwon, was actually born in a toilet at his grandparents' house, which may account for his lifelong preoccupation with clean toilets. He supervised an initiative to clean and enhance the city's public restrooms while mayor of Suwon in the early 2000s. He eventually created a global toilet association to attempt the same for the rest of the world. He was appropriately dubbed Mr. Toilet by his colleagues. Upon his death, the property was bequeathed to the city and converted into a toilet museum. The home itself is regarded as the largest toilet sculpture in Korea, with 2 levels of installations that highlight the importance of toilets to a society's health. Toilet-themed artworks are displayed around the museum and on the premises, with much of it, such as a massive golden mound of excrement, making for wonderful photo opportunities. While a shell might be the ideal home for a mollusk, how does it shape up as a residence for humans? This beautiful yet unusual house takes its inspiration from the spiral shape of the Nautilus cephalopod shell, as well as the architectural styles of Frank Lloyd Wright and Antoni Gaudi. The architect, Javier Sinosiayan, built the structure using ferro-cement, which comprises thin layers of concrete applied over steel-enforced chicken wire. It also allowed for the formation of naturally rounded curves without the necessity of columns or load-bearing walls. The flowing contours from floor to roof produce a very organic layout, and small portal windows in the shell walls allow light to pour into the interior. The majority of the illumination, though, comes from the wall of small stained glass windows, each of which is a different color. The interior is spacious as there are no boundary walls, and the spiraling design adds to the feeling of organic flow. Sebastian Mikichuk and Klejdiusz Golos, 2 Polish architects, were the minds behind this unusual home in Trassenheide, Germany. It was originally built for their exhibition project, The World Upside Down, which aimed to give guests a unique perspective of the world around them. Everything inside is upside down, except, of course, the staircase on which you ascend the home once you have entered through the attic door. Suddenly, you are walking across the ceiling, while above you there are tables, chairs, plants, artworks, and everything else one would expect to find in a house, but upside down. Every detail has been thought of, and even the curtains have been installed in a way that keeps them suspended in space. A small, unusual home with a blooming roof that shelters and shields like a giant tropical banana leaf is located on a gorgeous little beach just outside of Rio de Janeiro. The open-air home is intended to stimulate contact and connectivity between man and environment. The tropical beach home is great for social events and parties, with verandas and open areas between suites and no corridors. The open floor plan also makes use of trade breezes that sweep in from the ocean, which provide natural ventilation and cooling. It becomes a pond with fish and aquatic plants as it passes beneath the formal dining room and reaches the back porch. The utilization of natural materials, the glass's transparency, the neutral color of the oxidized copper in relation to the dominant green of the landscape that was both intended and natural, and the rich, diverse range of patterns and textures all contributed to the development of a very desirable living space, a sense of belonging to the area in harmonious relationship with the lively Brazilian nature. That brings us to the end of our list of the weirdest houses in the world. These odd houses have broken all the rules of architecture so that something new could be designed that would challenge our preconceptions about what a home could look like. They have opened potential pathways that could be modeled or built upon, each offering a new perspective on design and architecture. Many of them are not simply examples of the strangest houses in the world, but also of innovative techniques that embrace natural elements or new technologies. Some of the weirdest homes also serve as extensions of their owners' personalities. If you could choose one of these unique houses to live in, which one would you choose?